let's get off things first. Get some things off my chest. A man can admit he was wrong. Darn well was wrong about this. I didn't think Optic Gaming had the drive through this tournament to get as far as they did, winning the whole thing. But with competition, as long as you have the overall competitive drive, small and big tournaments, you'll definitely win. And they have an amazing competitive drive that keeps them going each day, no matter they're practicing, like Crimsix says, towards the big tournament, this is the tournament for tournament. Let's not deny that. This is mostly practice for everybody. Optic Gaming wants the piece of the big pie of COD XP that's coming in early September, the biggest prize pool yet in Call of Duty history, which could have been more if they crowdfunded, but that's another day for that. And they wanted to practice here as LAN practice and take advantage of the competition that was coming here, that was going to be established here, and map out how good everyone's going to be. And they took advantage of that and got them an MLG Orlando tournament win. And that is to be respected for. They had the clutch moments, and I'll go into later about those because I definitely have some words about who won MVP. Anyway, early in the day, I believed Envious really was going to pull this out. They looked strong. And I also understand they made it to the loser brackets finals. They made it to Saturday as a dogfight, because they were one map away late last night to losing that chance against Cloud9, and props to Cloud9. Now, I believe if all the open bracket teams to make it that far and finish in 8th to 7th place, that was Cloud9. Cloud9 was coming in pretty strong, went to 5 maps against FaZe. They slowed it down a bit, but they made a solid loser bracket run to almost make it to Sunday. And it went late as it had. Envious ended up getting the job done and being the technical slayers that they are, being the guys who can really post up and defend most of the respawn points in both capture the flag, outplink, definitely a hard point, and they got it done. Again, their search and destroy left to be decided, but besides that, they were slaying. They were slaying as good as Optic, even better at times, and they showed it against Elevate in the losers final. And now that's a little bit later. Let's get to the first game of Championship Sunday, Optic versus Elevate. Now, Elevate tried. At first, they rolled up, really battled with them at Fringe Hardpoint, but the biggest thing they took was Grandma's. They took it, held on to it. Optic Gaming, they were pretty good around Grandma's and got that win. That was crucial to their win. Holding on to Grandma's, getting their slaying in, posting up, really just closing shop where it needs to be closing shop at. And that was huge. And as Elevate tried to go back and forth, Elevate tried to catch up, and they almost got there. But even after that, the Optic took their kills in, kept getting the hard points back, trading kills, making sure they would not be fully out of the chance to get the hill, and took the win. Next was S&D, which I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, I thought Formal should have just not snipe as much, because evac S&D, as the commenter said, is not a good sniping ground, especially when you're trying to deal with, actually we got a guy like Formal, which could be just as good in S&D with the M8 as he could be with the sniper. But I was wrong, honestly, because I didn't think to myself about this. Formal could be getting information for his guys using the thermal, pointing out where places are at and getting information through the jumps and things like that. And that's what I think was the mindset of Optic. Now, if he was wall running and trying to world star too much, like what Nagafin did half the time, which again, I have to be noted, Nagafin didn't exactly finish out well in these last two games. I think he barely had 10 kills and over 40 deaths. Oof, it was tough. He was getting frustrated throughout, and after a while it brought the rest of the team down, as you're going to find out after this game between MV and Elevate. But the third game, for the second game, Optic took a solid win, won it 6-3. The wall running by Karma was out of this world. The wall running by Karma, it usually is. I mean, if it's anything, Karma is indeed the best wall runner in the game. I believe that's one of his best keys in Black Ops 3, how he plays a support. He knows where the right wall runs at. He puts himself in position to really get the wall runs in and really surprise the opponents. And really get the flank and get a chance for Ops to take a hill, or for him to get a score, an uplink, or even get a chance to own the other side of the opponent's, opponent flag side. I'm sorry, to own the opponent's flag side, and that's where the wall running really is huge, really is big, really is an important facet to his game in Black Ops 3. And he doesn't really have much of the kill streaks anymore, but he doesn't need it. At this point in his career, Karma is one of the smartest guys in the game. And one of the most, I like to call it one of the most, he is the Swiss Army knife of COD games. And I'm going more into that later. But back to this game. They took it 6-3, and then they went on to the CTF, and, well, they took it to the breach uplink. Wasn't even close. They Elevate proved the slaying game. They tried to keep up with them, but then 3 interceptions, two by Karma, 1 by Formal, to take the win, and to go 3-0 and put Elevate down to the losers bracket. Which leads to FaZe Envious. Fringe Hardpoint was a battle. FaZe hold it early on. Envy was out slaying FaZe, but FaZe was still holding ground on hardpoints, on hills. They didn't fully get out of it, and as Envy was starting to pull away, FaZe still tried to find a way to climb back into it, really put their back into it, to really get himself back into the game. But later on, the slaying got overwhelming for FaZe, and the way they got posted up at hardpoint after a while, especially when you're talking about Fringe, it proved huge for them, especially for people like John, who's running around and getting kills, getting kills, making sure hardpoint's clear for Envy to get to, and making sure, most of all, not to have a fully lost hardpoint and then to come back and hold it down and make sure Envy always has at least one guy near the hardpoint to come back, get the kills, and make sure they take it back, and that's how Envy got the early Fringe hardpoint win. So, out to the start again with the slaying by Envy and Evac S&D. They kept putting Clay alone out on the island, taking out the others. They weren't really a true factor. Well, that was early on. And then Clay came alive. Got some clutch shots, and then Attach came alive, trying to get some good shots in, and Abel did well too, and that tied the game 1-1. And I thought that was important. I thought FaZe could make a comeback there. I knew Envy still was going to win this, but they still had fight in them, but you gotta respect that. But reach uplink. That's been Envious's best map throughout most of this tournament. When you get to uplink, and it didn't matter where it was going to be, they were set up brilliantly. And I said in the Twitter that that type of discipline and leadership comes from the top, and the top is JCap. JCap is that in-game leader and captain that you don't see these days. Well, you don't see very much these days. I think Crim 6, I know Crim 6 has it, sorry. Crim 6 has it. Clayster, he can have it. It can be shaky at times, but definitely Jordan Kaplan definitely has that leadership persona. He is that leadership factor for that team. It's how they're looking so good. They are behind him. They work with him. They work the ideas that he has for them, for him, and and he's a good slayer. Don't doubt his slaying ability. Even though Slasher is the crazy AR in this team, John is a solid sniper slash sub guy. The main input of slaying comes. The important input of slaying comes from JCap because he leads this team. He is this team's in-game leader. And so it was a dominating uplink by Envy, and then it went to CTF again. They had the great techniques to get grab flag, especially in a place like Stronghold, which Envy is pretty good at. They're good at overall in Stronghold, and it's a basic map for the most part. You have 3 main places. You have Satellite. You have 4. You have Satellite. You have Rocks. You have the Mansion area. And you have Bunker. And during CTF, they guarded most of those spots pretty well, especially through Bunker, especially through mid-side Mansion, where a lot of the action was going on, and they really gotten that well. They really gotten even to the back of Phase's flag and really owned that well, so they kept taking the flag and kept going back towards it, which led to a 2-1 CTF win and 3-1. Envy was going through. Phase done. So done for the tournament. So they went to face Elevate in the bracket final. In the losers bracket final. And my goodness. That was rough. Every from start to finish dominated. The loss that Elevate had against Optic, they tried, but that just began the downfall of Envy. I mean, Elevate, they just barreled. Especially, let's go on in here. Well, you start with Stronghold Hard Point. The Tempest play of Slasher was on point. And he was, one of those Tempest plays he was waiting for them to come. And it was like, just clockwork. How he knew they were going to be there. Took one guy out, took another guy out. Oh, I think it almost had a 3-piece that got killed. But the other guys ended up cleaning the rest of the shop. And it was just open shop to close shop. And then uplink. S&D, they look great. They outplayed Elevate in that matter. They weren't getting the kills like they could have gotten from Nagafin, who they said earlier was the best S&D player in the world. Well, he said it himself anyway. He gotta show up in these times to really help Elevate out, but that wasn't going. And he had a rough day. I'm not gonna keep hammering him any more than he should, but he had a rough day, and it showed in uplink reach. That was from start to finish in one word: decimation. Decimation. They were Elevate was banned. Was just Envy hijacked their dignity. Envy just manhandled their emotions. They just could not get anything truly going. They had a drone throw here and there, a dunk. I think they only had one dunk, but besides that, Envy shut it down. Map control from start to finish, especially mid-map with J-Cap and Slasher. John was moving the ball around. Apathy all weekend long. One of the most consistent sub guys and smartest sub guys to play this year was Apathy, and he was blowing up. He had smart moves. He was always around. Very much the second best support guy this weekend. No doubt. If Envy won, I wouldn't have been mad if you gave Apathy MVP because he's earned it. He earned it pretty good. 1 second. He deserved that. And he deserved really the respect he's gotten lately, being an improved player ever since coming to Envy from the failed Liquid Squad. And I'm really looking forward to what Envy can do in COD Champs. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So, after Envy's destruction of Elevate in the uplink that made a straight 3-0 sweep, ended Elevate's day, they faced Optic in the final, which at the end of the day I should have said that we all wanted, but I really did not feel that I was going to get that far, but they did. Again, they did. They pulled it off. Great job. The fight, though, was real on this one. And Envy battled the hell out of them. They really came out, in a sense, in their own way, fighting. And they really kept up with the slaying that Optic usually is number 1 for, without a doubt. Number 1 up there. Number 2's pretty far paced, and you have 3 and the rest of them battling each other for best slayer, best overall slaying team in COD. That gap's closing, and it's truly, in my mind, the actual 1A, 1B. 1A is still Optic, 1B is now Envy, and Envy is going to make a dangerous run, and anyone who's going to be in Envy's group is going to be worried that they're going to not just get outslayed, but outsmarted as well, which has been the consistent thing all weekend. They outsmarted most of these people. They've really taken it to the next level of how to slay, how to play COD, how to really take it to a team. And that was Envy all weekend, without a doubt. They really went through this, and they really seen it when they took 3-2 first best of 5. And now the second best of 5. First best of 5. Talk about it a little bit. I mean, Optic looked good in some of it, but Envy really showed what they were capable of. Even with the S&D on Redwood, no, not the Redwood S&D, the other S&D. Oh my gosh. Even with the first S&D that was in the best of 5, they were strong. They were powerful. They were, even as they were down, Breach S&D, even as if they were down, they still worked themselves back into it and really got themselves straight with another win. And I was thinking in my head, okay, I'm going to be right. Envy is going to look like the team that's going to be the true threat coming into COD Champs with this Orlando win. And they forced it. They forced a game, another best of 5. What I didn't get into account, which I should have done, is they've been playing all day and throughout most of the night. They didn't get any sleeps. Now I know that's not, I know you're gonna say that ain't not an excuse. They still should have got it done. But the way they kept playing straight games, it came to the first hard point where Optic took it solidly, and then they overwhelmed that. Optic took it solidly, kept it close, Envy did, but then the S&D on Redwood, they wrecked their lives, man. Wrecked their lives. And then they really wrecked their lives on Uplink, and Game over. Optic took it. Now, quickly, Optic took it. They still look like the best team coming to God Champs. They still look like the favorites. And right now, at this very moment, yes, they're my favorites to win. Now, I don't feel like I'm tuning the horn about Envy and how dangerous they really are. JCap, John, Slasher, Apathy, you all put in a hell of effort. You all put in so much good work throughout the night and the day to get you this far, to get you working as hard as you could. You did what you could right there. But the difference between you and Optic, the biggest difference of all, Optic has the greatest support player in Call of Duty history in Damon Barlow. There's not enough that could be said about a man of Barlow's character and a man of his support ability, because this guy could star on any other COD team right now, be the noticeable guy, but he knows his capabilities, he knows his limits, and he has that addiction to winning. He's shown it by arguing to the guys on YouTube that was on YouTube, on formal stream. He's shown it, that passion to winning, on his Twitter. It says, hates to lose more than loving to win. And that's a grand mindset. Even more than Crim 6's, Carla has the passion to really pull off great moves, great plays, and to be one of the most clutch players out there. The interceptions, the clutch 1v3s, the way he comes through for his Optic crew. He deserved MVP. He earned MVP. He grabbed MVP by the balls. This was Karma's weekend, and it's shown as he was giving the Control Freak MVP. So that's my review of Orlando. Overall, it was a good event. MLG needed to fix their streams. I think like more than once that the stream went out and had to refresh. It was a little bit frustrating, but besides that, I loved what they did with the presentation. For the most part, we should have seen the Cloud9 versus Cloud. Okay, also another thing is, respect the complexity, making top 8. Great job, Cloud9. If it was the open bracket that could make top 8, it was Cloud9, but complexity, I didn't see that coming. Props to them getting it together and end up making a solid top 8 run. Anyway, there's going to be more to come. More esports news, more sports news, and analysts and thoughts. I hope you come with me on the ride, because I'm about to enjoy this. I'm really enjoying myself doing these analysts, writing these notes. I mean, I got so much notes on this. Just pages and pages of notes I wrote. And it's at 23 minutes. So I didn't really go out there too much. I may try to see how to work this thing and try to do a VOD and really truly analyze what one of the Optic maps and definitely one of Envy's. If anything, I want to do Envy's uplink win against Elevate. That was so impressive. But you're going to see more from me, you're going to hear more from me, and there will be bigger things coming to my channel. So please leave a like if you loved it, leave a comment. I want to expand this baby. What should I do? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Does the shit stank? Excuse my French. Leave a like, leave a hate, what you gotta do, what I need to do to expand it, what I need to do to get better. I hope you enjoyed it. You have a good night. Peace.